All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the playoff edition of the Huddle. I got to say that 2 weeks early, so I was excited. Playoff. So I'm Ryan Lasal. This is Icey Vick. This is the Huddle on Rock Sports Network. We appreciate you joining us on Facebook. The Huddle is brought to you in part by Batavia Downs, Thurman's 34 Rush, where things are happening every night with over 30 HD screens, including a 15-foot main screen, food and drink specials, and live music on select weekends. Make sure you check them out, facebook.com/Batavia Downs for all things going on there. Icey, Buffalo Bills with a tall task on Sunday Night Football. Prime time for the first time in quite some time. Yeah. And they go into Pittsburgh, where it's been an abysmal showing for the Bills over the last few decades, or 0-7 the last few times they've gone into Pittsburgh. Opportunity to clinch, control their own destiny, win, and you're in. And they went out and they won. 17-10. The Buffalo Bills get things done. We're going to go ahead and break down that game for you. And Josh Allen finishes 13 of 25, 139 yards, and a touchdown and one interception as well. Devin Singletary leads the way on the ground, becoming the workhorse quickly for the Buffalo Bills. 21 carries, 87 yards, no touchdowns. Josh Allen, 7 carries, 28 yards, gets in the end zone. Tyler Kroft with his first touchdown catch as a Buffalo Bill, 1 catch, 14 yards on that one. John Brown, as he's been, leads the way through the air. 10 targets, 7 catches, 99 yards through the air. And I see a dominant performance by the Buffalo Bills defense. They wind up picking off Hodges 4 times. They sack him 4 times. They force a couple fumbles. Hodges finishes 23 of 38, 202 yards, 1 touchdown in those 4 interceptions. And they absolutely control the ground game. James Conner leads the way, 8 carries for 42 yards, and there wasn't another Steelers player with double-digit rushing yards. James Washington, really the one that did the damage through the air, 5 catches for 83 yards. But ultimately, the Buffalo Bills control the clock, they control the yardage, they control the score, and the Buffalo Bills get things done 17-10 against a Pittsburgh Steelers team that a lot of people picked to beat the Buffalo Bills. Neither you nor I picked them to beat the Bills, but there were a lot of experts, quote unquote, out there picking them to beat the Buffalo Bills. So, Icey, overall impression of the game on Sunday or last night, what did you think about how the game played out and how did things go?
I think it went pretty much the way we thought it was going to go. It was a defensive game, low scoring. Neither of these offenses put up a lot of points. So it kind of played out exactly the way I thought it was going to be, and kind of a uglier type of defensive struggle. And what more can you say? They finally did something that they haven't been able to do for 2 decades, and that's take care of business when they have their destiny in their hands. We were driving in. We went to the tap room, Bill Gray's tap room, and sat down and watched the game. And on the way, we're sitting there thinking about it, and we're like, they could clinch the playoffs right now, but wouldn't it be a Bills thing to do right now to lose this game, lose the next game, and then lose against the Jets?
Yeah.
And then
somehow back their way in.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like, man, I just wish they could just get it done out of the way. We could stop talking about it. We don't have to worry about it, and they were able to handle business. I love the defense. I love what this defense is doing. The offense needs to improve their passing. Deion Sanders on NFL Network was talking about what the Bills had to do to become a elite team, and that was just getting more production out of Josh Allen. And this is one of Josh Allen's worst passing games, I think. He was very erratic in pretty much all of his throws.
Yeah.
And some of the throws were just not close at all. That Beasley throw, people were saying that he needed to catch that ball, but the ball was really high for a guy who's 5'10", maybe, and it was smoking.
Yeah,
that thing was on a roll.
He did put some heat on it.
Whoa, the ball was coming in at 300 miles per hour. There's no way a guy who only basically got one hand on the ball is going to catch that ball coming that fast at that trajectory. It just doesn't make any sense. I just want to see him calm down a little bit and make some of those throws that we saw him making a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Some of those throws are just easy throws that he just had nowhere, no line on it, wherever. I didn't know where he was going with it.
Yeah, and I thought his best throw of the day was that deep ball to John Brown on that last drive that led him to a touchdown, which is puzzling to me because it was the biggest moment of the game, right? I mean, they talked about it on football, Good Morning Football or whatever they call it on NFL Network, where they come out, they had just gotten the ball back. the Steelers, the crowd was amped. They were playing the Styx song that they play, Renegade, and everything was kind of hopping and jumping, and it was like the biggest moment of the game. And he comes out, and it's like, he throws a dart downfield, and John Brown makes a good catch. But either way, it's going their way because they get a pass interference call too. And I looked at that and I went, man, that was probably his best throw of the day.
Right. And
for it to come in that moment is what separates Josh Allen from a Tyrod Taylor so far, to me, has been, the frustration that we had with Tyrod Taylor was that he was efficient with the ball. He threw short. He didn't throw for a lot of yards. He didn't really take a lot of chances downfield. But he was never the guy that could go out and win you a football game. Anytime you got the ball late in the game and you needed a drive to go down and score, you never had the confidence that Tyrod was the guy to do that for you. Right now, I mean, Bills fans, you've got to feel like if you need a touchdown or you need a score and Josh Allen's getting the ball in his hands, you feel pretty good about your chances at this point. Can't say that about very many Bills quarterbacks since probably Kelly. And, that's saying a lot. And despite the fact that Josh Allen has got to be better, and he's one of the first ones to admit that he has to be better, they're winning football games because he's doing just enough. And we talked about Tyrod Taylor, and I keep coming back to this just because he's the most recent quarterback for Josh Allen. But one of the things that we kept saying is you're never going to win a football game because of Tyrod Taylor, right? You're not going to lose a game because of him, but you're not going to win a football game for him or because of him. Josh Allen's kind of the adverse of that. You're going to win some football games because he's going to eventually in the end of the game when the lights are brightest and the pressure's on, he's going to lead you downfield and he's going to put the ball in the end zone. And statistically speaking, he's been his best in the fourth quarter. And it was again last night. He was the best he's been in the fourth quarter. So with the defense the way it's built, keep it close, keep it tight, get it into the fourth quarter within a score, and you feel really good about your chances with Josh Allen at the helm. What he needs to get better at, and to your point, to move them from a team that can make some noise in the playoffs to a team that can definitely win it all and has an opportunity to be the best team in football, is he's got to do it all 4 quarters. Right. And he hasn't been able to do that so far. And I think some of it is his high ball placement, he kind of gets a little too amped up about things. And I think some of it is, I think he's still hamstrung a little bit because of the way he's been playing. He's hamstrung by Dable because I don't think Dable has the confidence in him yet to just turn it loose and say, all right, we're going to go out and throw the ball, all over the field, because that's one of the weaknesses against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense is if you're on point and they can't get turnovers, they're susceptible through the air. So, but Brian Dable, I tweeted it out during the game. It's just the way that the play calling went, especially leading into the fourth quarter, it felt like Dable didn't have any confidence in Josh Allen. And all of a sudden the fourth quarter comes around and everything changes. And it seems like Dable knows that that's when Allen's going to turn it on, and he knows that that's when he's his most focused, and he knows that's when he can call those plays downfield, because they hadn't taken a shot downfield until that point.
Right.
I think he had thrown maybe one, but it was kind of like, I didn't really know who he was throwing it to. I think it was almost like a long throwaway. Yeah. But he hadn't dialed up any long passes until that point. So it's almost like they're starting to call plays within the confines of Allen's situational abilities. At end of the first quarter, I was critical of the team because they had 1:55 on the clock. They had 3 timeouts, and they run the ball 3 times, and the end of the half comes up. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen them push it downfield a little bit, but it was on the heels of Allen turning it over. That Beasley tip that wound up turning into an interception, and it just felt like it was a conservative play call. Listen, in the end, they wound up winning the football game, so you can't be hypercritical of it. But I felt like in the moment, if you have confidence in your quarterback, if you can't have confidence in your quarterback in that moment not to turn the football over, then I don't know how you can have confidence in him throughout the rest of the game to not turn the football over. Because every moment from that point forward, it was a 1-possession game. It was going to stay a 1-possession game. Everything from that point forward, the moment was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger every time he touched the football. Right. So you've got to have that confidence in Josh Allen. Again, it wound up working out, that conservative play calling where McDermott feels like, let's keep it close and give ourselves a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter. That's worked out so far. The problem is what happens if it doesn't work out? What happens if you pull Kansas City in the first round of the playoffs and the weather's nice down there and you've got to defend Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and McCoy and Watkins, and you go out there and you can't keep it a low-scoring football game. You can't keep it from turning into a shootout. What then? Like what can Josh Allen do in those kinds of games? And that's where your mettle gets tested, is in the playoffs, because you're not playing Miami twice. You're not playing the Jets. You're not playing the Broncos, who have a good defense but a terrible offense. You're playing the best 6 teams in your conference, and you're going to have to score points at some point, because no matter what anybody says, and I got a lot of responses on Twitter last night when I made the comment about the end of the first half, the comments were, whoever makes the fewest mistakes is going to win this football game. Well, in the playoffs, I mean, surprise, it's not who makes the fewest mistakes, it's who scores the most points.
Right.
So you're ultimately going to have to score points, and Josh Allen's going to have to get better at that. Defensively, Icey, this was probably one of the better defensive performances from this team. Again, 4 sacks, 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. Defensively, what was your feeling on how the defense did and kind of how they were able to rise to each moment that came to them where they needed someone to rise up?
I mean, this is what the Bills' defense has been doing all year. Aside a few, games where they just didn't play very well, they've been on point. Tremaine Edmonds flew around like a madman, like his hair was on fire last week or yesterday. So just seeing that the linebackers kind of lead the way, and then you have Trey, who's just a man-child out there. He's a monster. Don't throw his way. He's going to take it. That's what they're going to do. They're going to hold teams to the low scoring area. I think still second in the league in the points against.
Yep.
So you're sitting here looking at everything that they're doing defensively, and everything is working. Mm-hmm. They're getting pressure on the quarterback. Shaq Lawson's showing up.
Shaq Lawson's earning himself another contract with the Bills.
Yes, he is. It might not be a big contract, but it's going to be. They should extend him.
But he's to the point. He's to the point where I actually heard Sal Capaccio today on WGR, where he's talking about, should the Bills maybe put the transition tag on Shaq Lawson, because he's not a guy you want to franchise, but is he a guy maybe you put a transition tag on him, let him go out there into the market and see what he can do in terms of getting a deal together and maybe get some draft picks back if he does wind up signing, but give yourself the opportunity to talk long term with him, which I thought last year, I thought that it might have behooved the team to pick up his 5th-year option, because I thought that contract year might have been a good opportunity for them to work something out with him long term. But he's flat out balling right now. Jordan Phillips is another one. I mean, this guy's 9.5 sacks on the season from the defensive tackle position. I mean, you're talking about he's almost doubled his career sack total in one season.
Right.
I mean, he's another guy you're going to have to probably sign this coming off season, because the way that this defense is structured, you can't afford to let these guys walk away, because what's that defense going to look like if you don't have a Shaq Lawson, if you don't have a Jordan Phillips? You've got Trey White, who's going to get paid. I mean, as I tweeted out last night, give him all the money. Just all the money. Just throw it at Trey White, because he's the type of guy that you can't let walk away. Now you've got him on another year. You've got a 5th-year option that you can pick up for him there, so you've got time. But you talk about all this salary cap, and there's guys you're going to have to sign: Trey White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Trey Edmonds. You're going to have to start making decisions on some of these guys. So you talk about the window in the NFL, and the window's starting to get to the point where you got to start wondering when it's going to close for the Buffalo Bills already, because Allen, he's 2 years into his contract. Another year and a half to 2 years, you're going to have to know whether he's your guy long term, because you're going to want to sign him before Darnold, Jackson, Mayfield, all those guys re-up their contracts, because then you're paying a fortune. So defensively, I thought it was an interesting feeling, because in the past with the Bills teams, there's always been situations where it's been, okay, we need a play from the defense. Like, the offense isn't going to get things done. We need a play from the defense, and that play never came. Well, last night it was, man, it would have really, we really need a play right now, and you get the Trey White interception. It's like, man, we really need a play right now, and you get the Jordan Phillips sack. Like, oh, we need a play right now. You get another Trey White interception, and he goes almost takes it into the end zone. It was like every time, and I tweeted at one point, and I said, how many times is this defense going to be able to rise up and make a play when they need a play to be made? And it was every single time last night. They needed a play. They got the play that they needed. Right. The Trey White pick, the Phillips sack, the Trey White pick, the Hyde pick, the Poyer pick at the end. It was like just every time that it came up, and it's like someone's going to have to step up. Someone stepped up and made a big play, and it was just a great thing to see, because this defense is, you talk about peaking at the right time. This defense just played its best football game of the year, and you're going into New England to play for an opportunity to force the Patriots to play in Week 17 for the division.
Yeah.
You win on Sunday, and you force the Patriots into a must-win game in Week 17, and I can't think of the last time that they had a must-win football game. 2 years ago, they had a game where they wanted to win because they wanted the 1 seed, but they were going to be the 2 seed if they didn't win. They were still going to get the first round bye. They were still going to get home field advantage throughout, at least until the AFC Championship game. But the difference between winning the division and not winning the division is the difference between a bye in Week 1 of the playoffs, at least a home game in Week 2 of the playoffs, and going on the road in Week 1 of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And with a 42-year-old Tom Brady and a team that's not playing great football right now, you don't want to go on the road if you're the New England Patriots in the first week of the playoffs, because you're going to have to go into Houston, a team that's already beaten you, maybe into Kansas City, a team that's already beaten you. And then if you get past that, you've got to come into Buffalo, potentially week 19 of the season is what it winds up being, against a team that's already beaten you, against a team that should have beaten you the first time you came into their house, but Josh Allen went out at the end of the fourth quarter. So the Patriots are going to, if the Bills can win on Sunday, and we're going to talk about that in the third segment, they put the Patriots into a very interesting situation for the first time in a very, very long time. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do an extended format a little bit on the Patriots game, because this is, as much as we've said it time and time again this season, this is probably the biggest game that the Bills have had in a very long time, because it's the first time the Bills have had a legitimate shot at the division in a very long time. So we're going to break down the Patriots game, start that at least when we get back. But first, our show is brought to you by Ralph Honda. Ralph Honda is ranked number 1 in Western New York for overall customer satisfaction. See the 2020 Hondas arriving daily at Ralph Honda, including the Odyssey, Pilot, and Civic. Short drive to West Ridge Road at Elm Grove, and online at ralphhonda.com. Make sure you stick with us on the other side. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Henry, and I want to welcome you to Batavia Downs Gaming. We want you to love it, not just like it here. We went to our customers and asked them what we can do better. You said you wanted a hotel, so we built one. More and better food, we did that too. A separate place to smoke and play, we even did that. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel is the right size with the right people in the right location. Batavia Downs Gaming, come here to dine, stay, and play.
Only $7.99 for a Bill Gray's Great Plate every Tuesday.
If you're living with pain or recovering from surgery and don't know where to start, Lattimore Physical Therapy can help. The Lattimore Promise includes an individual diagnosis with a highly trained licensed physical therapist on your first visit, a personalized treatment plan, communication with your doctor, and a continued personal care plan. You're never more than minutes away from pain relief. Visit LattimorePT.com.
Lattimore Physical Therapy.
Celebrate at Ralph Honda during the Happy Honda Days sales event. Save on all remaining 2019 Hondas, like the all-wheel drive HR-V LX, only $154 a month. You'll save some jingle at Ralph Honda.
All right, we are back here at the Rock Sports Network studios for the Huddle. I'm Ryan Lasal. He's Icey Vick. Make sure you give us a follow on social media. I'm at Ryan Lasal _RSN. He is at Icey Vick _RSN. Our show is brought to you today by Lattimore Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab. Lattimore currently offers 25 clinics throughout the Rochester area, including nearby locations in North Chili and Webster. More than 50 certified physical therapists have experience in treating most conditions and sports injuries, and in most cases can offer initial consultations within 24 hours for your convenience. LattimorePT.com. So, Icey, you talk about the Bills currently sitting at 10-4 on the year. They are heading into Foxborough this coming Saturday night, which is a little bit of a change. Bills have had a kind of an unconventional schedule, at least for the Bills so far this season. They've played on Thanksgiving, they've played on Sunday night last night, and now they get a Saturday game against the Patriots. And for all intents and purposes, it's a primetime game. It's part of that Saturday triple header that they've got going on. There's a 1 o'clock game, a 4 o'clock game, and an 8 o'clock game, and that's it all day Saturday. So the Bills will be the focal point on Saturday against the New England Patriots coming into Foxborough. Opening line, Bills are 6.5-point dogs. The Bills, when they hosted the New England Patriots in week, I think it was 4, back in September, Patriots wound up winning that game 16-10. But remember, Josh Allen went out about a third of the way through the fourth quarter with that blow that took him out, put him into concussion protocol. And Matt Barkley comes in and valiantly puts them in a position to maybe tie it and ultimately falls short. But, we talk about the Patriots and what they've been this year. I mean, this is a team that went into halftime on Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals up 3. And up until probably midway through the third quarter, the New England Patriots were not the best football team on the field against a 1-12 Cincinnati Bengals team. This is not a normal New England Patriots team. This is a New England Patriots team that if they don't get a blocked punt return for a touchdown against the Bills, they don't win that game. The Bills win at 10-9. And that's how it shakes out. If they don't get that pick 6 by Stephon Gilmore against the Cincinnati Bengals, that's probably a closer game than you'd like to think. This is a team that is not an offensive juggernaut like it used to be. Now it leans a lot on the defense. And we've seen time and time again this season where Tom Brady's put in a situation where he needs to go downfield and put points on the board. He can't do it. And he's not accurate. He's not hitting the guys he normally hits. His receivers aren't making plays. Mohamed Sanu has had a couple big balls go through his hands at different points so far throughout the season. So, Icey, I mean, how do you feel like this team matches up, the Bills right now with the Patriots right now? How do they match up going into this game on Saturday?
We went through the first time we met and we played them head-to-head when they were playing pretty well.
Yeah, they were playing good football at that point in time. Yeah.
And the Bills stuck around, and it was basically a block kick that really decided the game. The Bills match up very well because, their receiving core is kind of decimated right now. I mean, no one's really doing much. Guys have been in and out of the lineups, hurt. Josh Gordon's not there, who was your biggest threat all season. So you're not worried about anybody just beating you as far as a wide receiver. The thing that you kind of concerned about is the rushing game because the Bills have been gashed at rushing the ball. Opponents rushing the ball against them in the weeks. They clamped down after a while, but this is a team that really is not built to come from behind. So matching up wise, I think they're going to send a lot more pressure. Tom Brady's not throwing deep on you, and you're going to have Trey White shadowing whoever, probably Mohamed Sanu. They're your best receivers. So you're not really worried about one particular guy beating you with throwing the ball. So you're going to be able to send more guys to shut down the run. Defensively, I think this team matches up very well. This is going to be somewhat like we saw this past week. Basically, Tom Brady, who's a shell of himself, coming out there trying to beat us with his arm because this team's not going to let anybody run all over them all game long. They were just not going to do it. They haven't done it all season. So Tom Brady's going to have to step up and show that he could beat you with his arm, which he hasn't been doing the last few weeks, last half of the season, pretty much. So, but offensively, you got a good defense that's playing lights out and not letting teams score. This is already a team that struggles to score.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a situation where Josh Allen's going to have to step up. They're going to play man zero coverage and send everybody at Josh Allen. And he's going to have to understand where the pressure is coming from, get the ball out of his hands, and do it accurately. There's man-on-man, there's going to be guys open.
Yeah.
It's just picking the guys who have the best matchup and get it to them accurately. It's something Josh Allen struggled with all season.
Yeah, I mean, I think the blueprint was laid the first game that the Patriots played. That's how you defend Josh Allen, right? You just blitz 6, 7, and you've got the personnel on the back end, which they do in the secondary to defend. You blitz 6, 7 guys, and you cover on the back end and say, let's see if you can and make the right read. And Josh Allen's going to have to make the right read. I think we're going to talk next segment about kind of keys to victory, but the X factor coming into this game, in my opinion, is Devin Singletary because he has started to develop into such a huge part of this offense. Remember, he didn't play against the New England Patriots. He didn't get a single touch in that game. So this is a guy that, there's tape on him, but the Patriots have never played against him, which is not something you can say very often in a Week 16 matchup against the Patriots, that you can bring in a weapon that they haven't played against before. And although you can watch film on him, it's entirely different. And I mean, I think Bills fans can attest to that, what they watched of Devin Singletary when he was drafted versus what he's put on the field. You don't realize how difficult he is to tackle. I mean, it's astounding at sometimes when you watch him run and you're like, okay, it's going to be a 2-yard run, and all of a sudden you see him pop out or squeak forward, and it's like it turns into a 4 or 5 yard carry. It's like, how did he wind up? How did he break that many tackles? Or, it's just, there's just a massive humanity, and just all of a sudden it starts inching forward. And it's like, this is a guy that I don't think you understand how difficult he is to bring down until you're trying to bring him down. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge X factor coming into this game against the New England Patriots. The other X factor on the other side of the field, in my opinion right now, is going to be Trey Edmunds, because Trey Edmunds has developed into what the Bills want him to be, which is a quarterback of a defense that's playing very good. He's making the right reads. He's not over pursuing. He's not getting caught up in the play actions like he was early in the season and even last year. He's starting to become the type of guy that Tom Brady doesn't like to match up with. He's starting to turn into a guy that can diagnose what's going to happen before before the ball gets snapped, and put his guys in the right position to be impactful. He blitzes at the right time. He sends Milano at the right time. And I know a lot of that's the call coming in from Leslie Frazier, but the communication that they have, is a lot of it's on Trey Edmunds, and then the safeties in the back end in Poyer and Hyde. And you see them communicate with White, and it's kind of like White knows what he's going to do, right? He's going to lock down his side of the field, and everybody else kind of puts themselves in the best positions to be effective. But the Bills' ability to put pressure on Tom Brady has been the talking point of every Bills-Patriots game for the last 17 seasons that Tom Brady's been the quarterback. And it's always been the key to victory is make Tom Brady uncomfortable, because he's not that good when he's uncomfortable. Right. But the problem has always been it's easier said than done. Right. This team, the way that it's built, the way that the defense is put together, can actually do it for the first time in a long time. There's injuries across that offensive line. You're getting pressure up the middle from Oliver and from Phillips. You're getting pressure on the edges, not letting guys step up into pockets. And this is a team that I think at this point in the season, at this point in its time together as a team, this is the perfect matchup for them, for the Patriots. If they're going to go into Foxborough and beat the New England Patriots with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, this is the game that they're going to do it, because this is when they match up the best. This is when they can do just enough this is when they can do just enough on offense, and the defense can do what it does and keep them close. Maybe get a couple of balls bounced their way, because you always need that against the Patriots. Maybe get a call go your way, late in the game. Maybe you can get Stephon Gilmore on a pass interference or something like that. But this is a susceptible New England Patriots team, and that's the first time in a long time that I think we've been able to say that in Week 16 of the NFL season, that the Patriots aren't getting better. They are what they are at this point, and you've just got to mitigate your mistakes and capitalize on theirs, and you're going to win the football game. And that, again, easier said than done. And until they do it, it's tough to believe that they're going to do it. Yeah. But if they're going to do it, I think this is the season. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to break down our keys to victory and then give you our predictions for Sunday. Our show is brought to you in part by Bob Johnson Chevrolet. Bob Johnson's goal is to give you the best deal on the best new or used vehicle possible. If you're not sure what you're looking for in a new car, truck, or SUV, make sure you stop by and talk to their expert sales team. They're going to help you figure out which vehicle meets your needs and requirements best. Bob Johnson Chevrolet, Ridge Road West in Greece. Stick with us on the other side. We're right back.
Daddy had surgery and his pain was put to ease.
Lattimore Physical Therapy.
The Bill Gray's Chai Light Tap Room, now open.
Gimme Bill Gray's.
Celebrate at Ralph Honda during the Happy Honda Days sales event. Save on all remaining 2019 Hondas, like the all-wheel drive HR-V LX, only $154 a month. You'll save some jingle at Ralph Honda.
All right, we are back here for the Huddle on the Rock Sports Network. My name is Ryan Lasal. He's Icey Vick. Our show is brought to you in part by Bill Gray's Restaurant and Tap Room. Every Tuesday's Great Plate Tuesday at Bill Gray's, $7.99 for 2 Bill Gray's cheeseburgers on top of home fries and mac salad loaded with your choice of toppings, including Bill Gray's famous meat hot sauce. Great Plate Tuesday every Tuesday. Gimme Bill Gray's. Icey, let's break down this Patriots game. We started a little bit last segment, but the Bills go into Foxborough on Saturday, 4:25 start. Currently going in at 6.5 point dogs, essentially a touchdown underdog coming into this football game. And the Patriots have been the class of the AFC East for the last 17 seasons, led by Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. They've won the division, I think, every year since 2000, and it was the Sanchez year, right? I think it was 2008, maybe?
2008.
So, they've been, for the last decade plus, they've been the best team in the AFC East. This is a game where if the Buffalo Bills win this game, this forces a must-win game for both the Bills and the Patriots going into Week 17. The Bills hosting the Jets, the Patriots going into Miami to face the Miami Dolphins. And again, it's been a very, very long time since New England Patriots have been in a must-win situation on Sunday. Icey, key to victory for the offense for the Buffalo Bills going into Saturday against the New England Patriots.
Clean, concise passes from Josh Allen. He's going to have to get the ball out of his hand quickly, and he's going to have to do it cleanly. As soon as he gets a little pressure, he starts making mistakes. And when he holds on to the ball, he holds on to the ball longer than anybody else in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like in pocket, not all the times he's running out of pocket. Time in pocket, number one in the NFL.
Yeah.
He sits in and takes too long in the pocket, and instead of throwing the ball away, he takes sacks, which puts them behind the 8 ball. And you cannot count on Josh Allen to throw 45 times a game plus and win a game for you.
Yeah.
So when the ball, if you run on first down, and they're going to send everybody, and if you don't get anywhere, Josh Allen on second down and third down is going to have to drop back, 3-step drop, and get the ball out of his hand because they're going to be coming.
Yeah.
If he cannot do that successfully, you cannot expect this team to win this game. You can't expect this offense to be successful because they're sending everybody. That means there's going to be less running room for the running back. There's going to be less time to get the ball and guys get down the field for their routes because they're sending everybody. And if Josh Allen doesn't do it, then it's not going to happen. The other main thing he needs to do, he has to connect on one of these deep balls. You have man-to-man coverage. You're going to expect, and you got some speed guys on the field. Robert Foster is a fast dude.
Yeah.
Brown is a fast dude. Now, Brown's going to be covered by Stephon Gilmore, so you're not going to target him a lot. But that takes one of their best players out of the game, just trying to shadow him. You have other guys that can beat guys one-on-one, and especially a guy like Robert Foster who's just lightning fast. If you can connect on 1 or 2 deep balls early in the game, they're going to have to back up and say he's dialed in today.
Yeah.
We cannot just go man on man.
And that was one of the keys that I wanted to talk about, and I'm glad you brought it up for the offense. And that's you have to connect on a deep ball early because what happened against the Ravens was they did not connect on those balls early, and it allowed the Ravens to continue to blitz and continue to bring that pressure. You connect on one of those balls, whether it's to Brown, to Foster, Isaiah McKenzie, Andre Roberts, somebody who's going to get behind their guy. If it's a cover 0, that means you typically don't have a safety up over the top, right? So if you don't have that safety help, it's man on man. Can I get clean off the line? Can I beat my guy and run by him, right? And then can the quarterback put it in a spot where I can go get it? If Josh Allen connects on 1 early in the game, first possession, second possession, all of a sudden as a defense, the Patriots have to start thinking about, can we afford to continue to run this coverage? Because it doesn't take but one of those, all of a sudden you're in field goal range. And this is a game where points are going to be vital. I mean, the over-under on this game, I haven't seen it yet, but I'd be shocked if the over-under on this game is over 40.
Right.
They cannot think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So if you connect on one deep ball, we saw it last night. There's a 40-yard pass, and all of a sudden, the Bills have life. They're in field goal range. The Steelers had to back off a little bit. Devin Singletary rips off a long run, and you're in business. And it sets up that Tyler Kroft touchdown to win the football game. If they can connect on a deep ball, and I don't even think it has to be 2, connect on 1 early, just to show that I can do it. And the ball to Brown on Sunday night wasn't a fluke against the Steelers. It's something I've started to dial in, and we're here. That's going to be a huge opportunity. The second, I think you're going to have to run Devin Singletary. You're going to have to run some draws because that's how you beat a blitz. You run those delayed runs, draw, read options, things like that, where you let the defense kind of pursue past, hand the ball off and let Singletary kind of get man-on-man with a linebacker if he could get to that second level and try to do some damage that way. And we talk about the focal points of the offense in the first matchup. Again, Singletary didn't play. Cole Beasley got 13 targets. John Brown got 11. So those are going to be the guys you're probably going to go back to that well because they've been the guys that you've gone to all season. Beasley finished with 7 catches for 75 yards. Brown finished with 5 catches for 69 yards. So 11 targets, 5 catches, not a great number. Same thing, 13 targets, 7 catches, not a great number. So Allen's going to have to be more accurate than he was against the Patriots the first time around on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, Icey, what are the Bills going to have to do to not, I wouldn't say slow down this Patriots attack because I think we're beyond that, but to not let this New England offense be the reason that they win the football game? What are the Bills going to have to do on defense?
They're going to stop the run. They can't come out like they did early last game and let anybody gash them.
Yeah.
They got a stable of running backs there. So many guys. You got drafted guys that are sitting on the bench right now. So they have so many guys that can hurt you in so many different ways. You got White out of the backfield who can. In the last week, or against the Steelers, that's one of the keys of victory. I said you got to take away the running backs coming out of the backfield. They did that with Jalen Samuels. They didn't let him. There was multiple times where they tried to run him out as a pass catcher, and Tremaine snuffed that out. Good defense. That's what the Bills are going to have to do. You're going to have to take away the running attack. You take away the running backs, you're not scared of any of those wide receivers, and you're not scared of Tom Brady getting those balls there. That being said, once you shut down, you can't relax. You got to send pressure at Tom Brady. You can do that by sending extra guys. 1 over top, 2 over top, sending guys. Do what you have to do, but you can't be predictable. Bill Belichick's a brilliant, brilliant coach, and he's looking at the film, and he's like, oh, these are their tendencies. What can we do to beat their tendencies? Come out, throw whatever you've been doing, kind of not out of the window, but take what you're doing and just turn it into a different direction. Instead of just being so straightforward with what they've been doing a lot, they have a recipe that works. That might not necessarily work against Bill Belichick because, like I said, he makes adjustments better than any other head coach probably ever to play or to coach the NFL.
Yeah.
They're going to have to keep it fresh. They're going to have to keep pressure, and they're going to have to take away the rushing game.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's what they did in the first matchup. Sony Michel finished with 17 carries, 63 yards for 3.7 yards a carry, and that's where they've got to keep that rushing attack. Sony Michel, James White, Brandon Bolden, those guys, they have to keep them. Burkhead's going to be back. Burkhead, I think, played very sparingly the first time that they played. So they're going to have to keep those guys in check. I completely agree with that. What I think they need to start doing is continue to do what they've done since the first matchup against the Patriots. It worked really well, but they've got to figure out better ways to get pressure. They didn't sack Tom Brady at all in the first meeting, so they've got to be better at bringing the pressure, and I think they've gotten better at bringing pressure throughout the course of the season. Jordan Phillips, I think, is going to be an X factor. I mentioned Trey Edmonds and Singletary already, but I think Phillips is going to be another one because pressure up the middle is one of the better ways to beat Tom Brady. Don't let him step up in the pocket. Don't give him a pocket. Make him step side to side because that's when he's the most vulnerable when it comes to his ability to throw. Because if he moves to his right, doesn't have the arm strength anymore to go back to his left. Same thing if he goes left, he can't come back to the right. So you've got to figure out ways to get pressure, specifically up the middle. Jordan Phillips, Ed Oliver are going to be paramount in that. So Icey, ultimately, it comes down to what's your pick for the game on Sunday? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I mean, again, we talked about this earlier in the season about whether or not the Bills could ever beat the Patriots in Foxborough. And until you do it, I don't believe that you can do it.
Yeah.
This team is a team that obviously is a really good team, playoff contender. The last 2 games, Josh Allen didn't play very well, and I don't see that tendency, that trend, just disappearing over, the next week when you're playing, not even a short week at that, when you're playing the best scoring defense and the best yardage defense in the league. So I'm going to go, it's going to be another low-scoring game. I think the Patriots are going to pull this one out somehow, as much as it pays me to say. But I'm going to go 24-13. 24-13.
24-13. So it's double digit, two possession game it turns into be. I was the one that said until you go into Foxborough and beat the Patriots, I'm not going to believe that you're going to go into Foxborough and beat the Patriots. Since I've said that, this defense is playing better than I've ever seen a Bills defense. And what I can't wrap my mind around is this is a different Bills team than it's ever been. I can't remember a time, again, I talked earlier in the show where you asked the question, can the defense step up and make a play? And it never came before, and now it's coming. This would be such a Bills thing to lose X game, and they don't lose it. It would have been such a Bills thing to go in to Dallas on Thanksgiving and get blown out, and it didn't happen. They won the game. It would be such a Bills thing to go into Pittsburgh on Sunday night in a game where you win and you're in and get blown out, and they didn't. They won the game. This feels like a different Bills team. The playoffs 2 years ago, it was nice to get in, but you never really believed that they were going to do anything. This is a Bills team where if they can find the offense that they've had periodically throughout the season, this is a team that can win some games in the playoffs. I firmly believe that they can beat any team in the playoffs right now, including the Baltimore Ravens, because they almost did it. I'm going to pick them to beat the Patriots because I again, want to believe that this team is different, and this is the year that if you're going to go into Foxborough against Brady and against Belichick and beat them, this is the year that you've got to do it.
Right.
Or you're going to be left, because I'm not sure that either one's back next year, you're going to be left with wondering, could we have done it? And this is the year that I think the Bills are going to have to do it. This is the right team to do it. They've got the right mindset where no stage is too big, and they're going to be on a huge stage on Sunday. And Josh Allen seems to shine the brightest when he's on the biggest stage and when the game's on the line. And I think he's going to get the ball in his hands when the game's on the line with an opportunity to win this football game. And I've got the Bills winning it 20-17, a late touchdown probably, not a field goal. I don't know that I trust Hauschka late to kick a field goal. But I think they're going to be in a position, a one-possession game, go down and get me a touchdown, and he's going to go down and get him a touchdown, and the defense is going to hold, and they're going to win the football game. So 20-17 Bills. We're going to see. It's going to be a huge game again. The Bills have an opportunity to put the Patriots in a position that they haven't been in a very long time, which is a must-win football game in Week 17. Bills have an opportunity to take a hold of the division for the first time in a very, very long time. And it's going to be exciting to watch. No matter what happens, it's going to be a fun game on Saturday. It's going to be a stressful game on Saturday, so Bills fans buckle up, strap in. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be a lot of nerves, a lot of uncertainty, and a hell of a lot, probably if you're in my household, a hell of a lot of cursing. So if you're not a fan of that, then you probably don't want to be around me on Saturday. But I hope everyone enjoys the game. We'll be back next week, same time, to talk about how things shake out and what that means for the road ahead. So for Icey Vick, I'm Ryan Lasal, Gary behind the camera. This has been The Huddle on the Rock Sports Network. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Playoffs.
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
Can't wait.